All right, so this is adding profile keys on the fly via rules. So what's been added to Sitecore is really just this process item has been added to the rules underneath settings analytics. This is a place where we're going to add the rules. The condition side, nothing's been added. So we're just using whatever is already there for Sitecore because it has plenty of things to determine whether we know what we want to do. Now, if you've got categories or you've got some sort of metadata that's on your products or on your content that you want to use and try to base it off of that, then you can add a new rule on that side for the condition. On the action side, we've just done two things, and I've added this trigger, the specific goal, but the one that really matters at this point is apply specific profile card against the item. And then from here, you can just go pick. A profile card that you want to assign, via this. So what I imagine is I imagine in here being for any good sized organization. Inside here, there would be 25 rules that would assign profile cards based on the category they're in, the path they're in, whatever level of metadata that you can dig through to figure out what profile card should be assigned to that, rather than going to each individual item or on a template, having to create a template for each type of content, or using the search to get all the certain types and assign profile keys, which is great, but it's not live. As things change, you have to go there and redo it again. It's not continually changing on the fly. Here, you just change a rule and poof, the whole thing changes. So I imagine there's going to be 20 in here. And then what was added is inside of rules, elements, there's a new profile section, which I've missed here. And there's just the action for profile value and trigger goal. And there's one more. Hang on one second. All right, found it. So the only other things is on session begin, I added this new tag, which brings in the profile and the visitor. So if you wanted to do stuff on session begin, we've been doing stuff on session begin for like the number of users. Like this is their third time back kind of stuff. And we're doing it there. So I put it there because it was valuable to us and maybe be valuable to people in the future. So those are the only two things that are added. So in the rule that we've got, the rule says if the item is electronics or any of its children, apply the Cecil profile card against the item. And what I can do is I can go to the site, and I'm default setting, so it takes 3 hits of an item that has a profile key to be calculated, right? So that's a setting. I could find it in Sitecore, where you determine how many pages have to be scored before it becomes possible for a pattern card. So I'm on the home page. Electronics is my page with a profile card, so I can hit that, and then I can go back and I can hit it again. I can go to furniture. I can go to home. I hit electronics, right? And now I can use my DTO to look at what I've got, and you can see now that the Cecil profile card has been assigned. It's hitting the profile of that, and it's hitting a pattern card. And the pattern card is just set to say if the number is over 7, use it. Obviously, we're at 30, which is much more than 7, but it takes 3 times the scoring base out of the box Sitecore for anything to be scored with a pattern card. But I've done no profiling other than that rule. So you can imagine if you've got 10,000, 20, 30,000 items that you could profile all that data, just plan it out on a board to say this data and this data is in this profile card, and then this and this, that kind of stuff, or go off of categories or go off of taxonomy or whatever you might be able to find that could really profile data, and you could profile 30,000 items in an hour and change it at will. Like, oh, that's a little bit off. We ran our data and it's not quite what we expected it to be. So we're going to make a couple of changes to the rules, and then bang, from that point forward, it's all changed. So we found it incredibly useful. Doing profile cards on items and templates was just too much for the amount of content that we had. It's just not useful. That only works, when you've got 100 pages and the editors have time to even to think about it, or you know, to evaluate what profile card each one of those things should be in. So, so there you go. Thank you.